Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Welcome to the best damn podcast in the world. I'm watching old WWE.
Still?
Yeah, I got the WWE network. It's so easy.
It's like 4 weeks of that.
I'm on a kick. What can I say?
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Hello, everyone. My name is Dominic Damore, and thank you for tuning in to the second best thing you've heard all week. Well, what are you doing to me, Lang?
That wasn't me.
I know it was. You gotta roll with it. Editing. We have a great show for you today that includes some of the best and brightest and most interesting news from around the industry, along with our thoughts and opinions ranging from insightful to downright
repulsive.
This is the I've Had Better Movies podcast. Let's kick it off. Now, it's a little different setup today because somebody doesn't have their notes, didn't have time to write those out properly. So we're going to go a little off the cuff, aka I'm going to introduce everything. James, our first topic is a trailer, the latest and greatest in the long historied franchise of truly it's a cinematic wonder. Highly respected in the industry. Resident Evil, the final chapter.
Were you being sarcastic?
I absolutely was.
Sometimes you're so serious. You're such a good actor. I couldn't tell.
Thank you. Me and Leo, we got a thing.
Yeah, or Matt Damon.
All right, Bill Simmons.
He's my boy. Do we need this movie? No. Does the trailer look kind of cool? Yes. I like the whole bike scene.
I question every decision you've ever made in life right now.
It wouldn't be the first time. And I'm kind of okay with the song.
I knew you were going to like the trailer because Jimmy tried to get Welcome to the Jungle as our high school graduation song.
True story.
Yes.
Didn't work.
It did not. There was a lot of people who voted for it, though. That got way more support than the school administration is willing to admit.
I'm sure it did.
But I hated this trailer. It's one of those things where I was like, why are they still making these movies? Like, I looked up what these movies have made. Domestically, the last one did like $46 million, which you hear and you're like, oh, that's not very good because these movies cost like $65 million to make. This movie made like $180 million internationally. So this movie makes like $240 million. Stupid that people go and see these movies. I wasn't crazy about the first one. I thought the second one was good.
You didn't let me finish. After the bike was done, I didn't like the rest. I like the motorcycle.
Essentially, you like the bike and the song.
Yes.
Like, the part that feels like a video game a little bit. Like, I expect that kind of a trailer for the video game, not the movie. Yeah, it just, nothing connected to me. And it's sad because I want this franchise to be over because I want Mila Jovovich to do other franchises. Because she's a legit action star. Jovovich is the tennis player. Fifth Element girl. We're going to stick with that.
Also in He Got Game.
Really?
Yeah.
Good to know.
I should write that down. That is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, because she's a great action star, and I want her to do other franchises. Like, there was that talk a couple of years ago about the female version of the Expendables, and she would be one of them. Let's get that off the ground. Screw another Resident Evil.
I agree. That's why, I started off with we don't need this again.
Yeah.
For the millionth time.
All right, so I think I made myself pretty clear. You have any final thoughts?
No.
See, because you know how to cut things off when they're no longer necessary, unlike this movie franchise.
Yes. They should hire me.
They should.
And then I'd fire everyone.
All right, on to the next story, which is another trailer. This one from Denis Villeneuve. We're going to go with that. I don't think it's Villanueva.
No, it's not.
Yeah, okay.
That was good. You should have just left and kept rolling.
Yeah, I got no confidence in myself. This film is
Arrival.
No plural.
Like Arrival and Departures, just Arrival.
Yeah, it's a teaser trailer in the strongest sense of the word, and it does an amazing job at it. Like, You get the basic story that
Something's coming.
Yeah, Earth has been contacted / you hesitate to say the word invaded, like maybe visited and still here by an alien force.
And that may change in the trailer. We might, at that point see that it's an invasion.
Yeah. It stars Amy Adams, who I'm not a huge fan of.
Me either.
But she looked good in this one.
Jessica Chastain would be better for this role.
I feel like you could that's a Leo Damon argument. Like, I feel like every Amy Adams film would be a little better if she swapped out Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, maybe.
Your boy, Jeremy Renner.
He is my boy.
And the guy who will do anything for a paycheck, Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, he's still at that point.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
I don't know either, because he's a good actor. He's
very good.
He's in a lot of weird things. But the director who I mentioned at the beginning and butchered his name a couple of times, he's great. And even if these actors weren't in this movie, I would still be intrigued because of him. He did Sicario and he did Prisoners. Both of those movies I love.
Yep.
So we're going to get the real trailer next week, and we'll comment on that one, I'm sure, as well. I hope they don't ruin the vibe they've already built.
They're going to.
Probably.
They do every time.
Yeah.
They should stop at teasers and just maybe do another teaser of something. But they're not. They're going to show you too much, and that's going to make me not want to see this movie.
Yeah, the trailer felt like very Nolan or Steven Soderbergh-esque. Like, it felt like Side Effects and maybe a little bit of Interstellar.
Okay, yeah. I could agree with that. Yeah, definitely, left me wanting more, which is a good place to be for a teaser.
Yeah, and it's a cool, like, the fact that Amy Adams is a linguist or whatever, and Jeremy Renner does that great line when we first meet him that, like, when a war breaks out, the first thing that they need are language. And I butchered the line, but much better than the trailer. Go watch the trailer to get the real version, the one that doesn't sound like it came out of a child's mouth. Nope, I went to chocolate milk, and then maybe I took a nap.
Hey, don't knock chocolate milk. Chocolate milk is delicious.
Yeah, but I thought it was really cool. Next one, Bad Santa 2.
Why?
Yeah, well, it's been a while.
So that makes it okay?
It makes it more okay than, like, hey, let's
Resident
just cash
Evil?
in. Yeah, than Resident Evil. Like, I think that's, like, I didn't hate this trailer. I didn't love it. I laughed a couple of times.
Yeah, I chuckled a couple times.
Yeah. But I feel like if I had just watched this trailer and not also watched the Resident Evil trailer, I would have hated this one a little bit more.
That's true.
Tony Cox is great. I think he's very hilarious. I love him in every movie he's ever been in. Billy Bob Thornton, he has his moments, and clearly this is a character that he usually does well in.
Yeah.
And
Like Bad News Bears.
yeah, I mean, it's the same guy, like the drunk asshole, pretty much.
Yep.
So I'm intrigued by it. Like, in a year that we haven't had a ton of outstanding comedies, I don't think this is going to be one, but I think it would be at least one that you can enjoy going to the theater to see.
Bad Santa made $12 million opening weekend. Its lifetime gross was 60.
Well, how much did it cost to make? Can't be more than like 20.
23 million.
23. Wow. What did they spend that money on? Like Billy Bob Thornton's salary?
Could have been.
Because, like, as long as there's any major set pieces or anything in there, hookers and blow.
Those are expensive to fake, apparently. Maybe they wanted to be authentic and use the real thing.
It might have been.
We're artistic.
Yes. They're all method actors.
Yeah.
And as I say this, it's beginning the thunderstorm here. If you hear any sounds in the background, we apologize, but we're going to have to force our way through this. Much like James did with his trailer, apparently, because he doesn't sound like he enjoyed it very much.
No.
Yeah, for me, I liked a couple of the jokes. Some of the things I didn't like, I'm not crazy about the idea that the kid seems to be more than a cameo.
Yeah.
Like, he was funny as a kid, and he certainly has a couple of funny moments there, but I think it's going to definitely get tired. Overly stupid thing definitely is going to rub me wrong if it goes.
I was already tired in the trailer.
Okay. What do you guys think of the trailers we just talked about? Anyone? We did Resident Evil, the final chapter, which I doubt is the final chapter, Arrival, and Bad Santa 2, Which of those three did you like the most? Which one did you hate the most? I bet you I know which one. Unless you're Jim, because you like Guns N' Roses. Let us know in the comment section below, or hit us up on Twitter at IHB Podcast, or send us an email to
IHBpodcast@gmail.com.
There's a significant delay for how many times we've done that.
You put me on the spot and I hesitate.
I'm pretty sure I do it in the same spot every time we do it.
It doesn't matter. It still catches me off guard.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, on to our official stories of the day. Jim, what is my favorite topic to talk about on IHB?
Power Rangers.
No.
Damn it.
I feel like that's well down the list. I feel like you could have gone Batman ahead of that. Rock would have been a better guess, but no, because my favorite topic to talk about is the female cast Ocean's 11 movie. And now that has been...
Why? See, if you just said R, I would have guessed that. That is also one of my favorite.
Well,
choose your words better.
I chose them correctly. I don't see inside your head.
No one does.
Yeah, but the spin-off / it hasn't officially been said if it's a remake or anything, but the Ocean's 11 type film entitled Ocean's Ocho, which we've talked about in the past, recently announced some new casting, including major casting in Anne Hathaway, mid-level casting in Rihanna, yes, Rihanna, and pretty low-level casting in a woman named Awkwafina. At least that's how I pronounce it.
What?
Awkwafina, yeah. Did you see Neighbors 2?
No.
Okay, well, she has a small part in Neighbors 2. She did make me laugh a couple of times in this. Apparently she's an Asian pop star or Asian actress, possibly.
It's definitely Awkwafina.
Yeah, that's what I said, too. I was like,
Awkwafina.
all right, good for her. I mean, it's memorable. You're never going to forget her.
I get a picture of this lady.
Yeah, but these three are joining a cast that already rumored to include Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Helena Bonham Carter, Mindy Kaling, and then if you look on IMDb, this one I have not heard yet, but Elizabeth Banks is attached. So, James, what does the addition of Anne Hathaway, Rihanna, and Awkwafina do for you? And do you have any idea what roles you wish they would play?
Okay. Anne Hathaway, I like. Actually, you know what? I'm okay either way. Because I liked her in that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, which was kind of a comedy in the
Love and
beginning.
Other Drugs.
Yeah, that one. And then I liked her in The Intern.
Mm-hmm.
So if she goes either direction, I'm okay with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, which character could I see her playing? Scott Caan's character.
Oh, you see her as a Scott Caan?
Yeah.
Like the kind of a little bit of the muscle.
Yep.
Kind of like,
because she's a taller lady.
Yeah.
And I feel like she could pull off the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So the Awkwafina, whose actual name is Nora Lum.
Oh.
Interesting. And she's an American rapper.
Oh, she's
comedian.
Okay. She's of Asian ancestry. I thought she was just a rapper in Asia because I had never heard of her before.
She originates from the Forest Hills of Queens.
Impressive. You learn something new every day.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Yeah. And I know it sounds weird, but she had a couple of funny lines in Neighbors. Like,
yeah.
I actually am kind of cool with, she's going to have a small part. Like, she's not going to be some big player.
No.
But I actually dig her casting.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I've got, she's not super popular. I kind of like that they're going a little under the radar with it. I think it's a good move for them. I'm not sure who she'll play, because if she doesn't have that big of a role, she's not going to be one of the 11.
Mm-hmm.
And since there's obviously going to be 8, and we're going to be missing a few people. But back to Rihanna, I don't know what she can do.
All right, let me break it down for you how they should do this. Because I love the idea of these 3 characters in these 3 roles. I want Anne Hathaway to be the Matt Damon. She's a little younger than Blanchett and Bullock.
Okay.
Who, granted, we don't know yet. Blanchett could be playing the bad guy. I still have my fingers crossed that she's playing the Brad Pitt role. So we have those 2. Then we have Anne Hathaway as Matt Damon, because she's funny. She can definitely do comedy, and Damon has funny moments. She's played Catwoman before, so she can pull off that like burglary vibe and be the pickpocket.
The nose could play.
Yeah, and she's like played multiple personality type stuff before, so that would be cool. I feel like she could do that role. Rihanna should be Scott Conn.
Okay.
Because it's like it's one of those, you steer into this kid, she can play a little dumb, she's bad enough, like in the young kids these days, good way bad. And the Awkwafina girl should be Bernie Mac, because she can definitely pull off the, oh, you're doing that because you're racist? Like Bernie Mac does throughout all of his,
which would be a good move for them instead of having Rihanna do that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah. And is the movie going to be set in Mexico or Spain?
Oh, that's the other thing. They start shooting in New York in October. And there are rumors that Steven Soderbergh is going to have kind of a behind-the-scenes role as maybe like an executive producer or something like that, because his production company is based out of New York. Don't quote me on that, people, but I'm not entirely sure. But I think that's cool. It's a great idea. And the cast is outstanding. Like, this is something that can work as opposed to the Ghostbusters. This, I think, is a can't miss.
And I don't think they need to do a whole lot of marketing for it either. Yeah, they don't need to spend a ton of money marketing for this. I just hope they're careful with the trailers and teasers. I don't want them to reveal too much, because, I mean, let's be honest, we kind of all know what they're doing. It's going to be a heist.
Yeah.
So I hope they keep it short and show some of the humor in there.
What do you guys think? Who would you want to see Anne Hathaway, Rihanna, and Awkwafina play in the upcoming Ocho's? Nope, Ocean's Ochos. Let us know in the comment section below. Hit us up on Twitter, or go to our Facebook page. That's the I've Had Better podcast page. Jim and I, a few weeks ago, spoke about a potential remake or spin-off or reboot of the classic 1980s comedy with Tom Hanks, Splash. You remember this?
I do.
I'm glad you do. Well, it appears now we have our cast, at least the two lead roles. We have Channing Tatum and Jillian Bell. The interesting thing this time around, though, is as opposed to the female being the mermaid, Channing Tatum will be playing the thing with the fin, and Jillian Bell will play the human. Ron Howard, the director of the original, is set to executive produce. What do you make of the casting, and are you for or against this remake?
I'm okay with it. I don't think they're going to ruin it. I do like the switch that they're going to have Channing Tatum, the guy, be the mermaid. And I think Channing Tatum could pull it off. I think he's a good enough actor to be able to wear a fin.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, another one of those movies that doesn't really need to be made, but they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about this, to be honest, on either of the casting. I don't mind Jillian Bell. I actually think she's funny at times, but she is that classic over-the-top funny. Like she's funny in Workaholics, but that is so unrealistic of a show. And I didn't like her in 23 Jump Street, which she starred in with Channing Tatum. I'm kind of tired of Tatum in comedies.
I mean, this isn't going to be like Jump Street, though. I don't think it's going to be that slapstick funny.
I don't know. You don't bring on somebody like Jillian Bell to not throw out some I'm going to fart in your face.
Well, maybe she'll do that, and he won't.
Yeah. I don't know if he can.
Hoping.
Yeah. For me, I get he's very good at comedy. I just kind of wish he would do another dramatic role like he did in Foxcatcher, or his role in Side Effects from a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and maybe it's
I
also...
even liked him in that Coen Brothers film.
Oh, Hail Caesar?
Hail Caesar.
Yeah. That, and maybe it's also part of me, I'm just disappointed he's not made it into a comic book movie yet. Well, it's he was supposed to be Gambit, but that's pretty much...
Is that supposed to happen?
It's still on the shelf, and the writer of it talked a couple of days ago where he's like, it's gonna happen, we just, we need to get the script right, and it's all about the tone. Deadpool took 10 years to get made because we had to find the right tone for that one, and we want to make sure that Gambit gets the same respect. So, within 2 to 10 years, their plan is to make that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not happening within the next 2 years. So part of me just wants Tatum because I think he's a good actor. I want him to be in something that like I can really love and watch a lot. Because most of his films, like, I'm not going back to watch over and over just because they're not really my thing. Like 22 Jump Street, I'll watch if it's on cable or something, but like I don't own it. All right, next up, Mashable, and I believe his name is John Schneider. If I got that wrong, sucks to be you because nobody's listening anyway. Is reporting that Jason Momoa is very close, like millimeters away, from being cast as the Crow for an upcoming remake. Now, this remake has been in the news for years. Like, the studios have been trying to make it for at least 4 years that I know of. And at one point, Jack Houston, who I believe is going to be in the upcoming Ben-Hur film, was attached. And then for a while, Luke Evans was attached. And it's based off of a comic book, obviously. And then after that came a film in the mid-90s in which, famously, Brandon Lee was shot and killed by a screwed-up prop gun. And it's the original is a solid movie, and they've been trying to make this remake for years. What are your thoughts about Momoa as the Crow? And have you ever seen The Crow?
I have not.
How have you not seen The Crow? You grew up in this generation, you haven't seen The Crow?
It happens.
I suppose it does.
I can probably take a wild guess that our group of friends, you may be the only one that have seen it.
Yeah, but our group of friends is dumb.
I think Momoa fits the part, the look of it perfectly.
Sort of. He's tall enough for it.
Is he too big?
That might be the only question, because like the first two Crows were, the first one's good, the second one's decent. The actors who played them, they were a little like, they had like the rock star bodies, like they were longer, but they were still pretty cut and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, Momoa, he's big, so he's gonna be a different look than I'm used to, or anybody's used to who's ever seen the films. But I still like his facial expression and everything. I think looks great. But for me, until I heard the news about Momoa, I had zero interest in this movie at all. Like, I had negative interest. Like, there's that thing Kickstarter on the internet where you can give money to people trying to start projects and then they pay you back eventually. If there was a Kickstarter to not get this movie made, I would have paid money to it.
Yeah.
I had zero interest. But now that I hear Momoa has been cast, part of me kind of wants to see it. Because I'm also amazed at how few films Momoa has done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it helps that a lot of them have been awful. Like, he was in Bullet to the Head. Yeah, not so good. He was in the Conan the Barbarian remake. Not so good.
Yeah.
Like, aside from those are the only two things I can tell you he's been in besides Game of Thrones. And, and he's 37. Like, he's been around for at least 5 years now.
He picks and chooses his roles very carefully.
Yeah.
Or he's just lazy.
That's also possible.
I think he's just one of those free-spirited type that don't like to be held to a schedule.
Yeah, chilling on the beach and surfing. I wouldn't be surprised.
You know, lifting a weight occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally. Maybe a little more than occasionally. That's just.
I feel like he's a push-up, pull-up type of guy.
Just the pretty muscles. Yeah. It's a natural strength.
Well, yeah.
All right, we kind of went off track there.
Yeah, I'm sort of getting tired of the whole remake thing, though.
Yeah.
It's like gone on way too long.
A little bit.
Is it a possibility that people are just out of stories to write? Or is the viewership just
I think a lot of it is just, it's safe choice. Like with Splash. It's one of those things where it's like, you could make a brand new story from a screenplay that like is totally original and send it out to the public, and God, I really hope this does okay. Or you could say like, hey, we have Splash that has name recognition. We're going to at least make $30 million.
Yeah, it's been 30 years since someone's seen it.
Yeah, like
in theaters.
Yeah, like you rope in that older generation. You cast somebody like Tatum, so you're going to get all the 20 to like 38-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's all a numbers game. There are still original movies out there. Just,
Yes, there's not as many.
Yeah. I mean, you got to actually kind of try to find them. Like Green Room this year, totally original story.
Nerve was original, right?
Yeah, Nerve's original. I would assume so. I mean, it might be based off of a book or something like that. But
I'm okay if it's been based off a book or something. It's just, it's been a motion picture once.
Mm-hmm.
Do we really need it again?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
I'm not saying I think The Crow is going to be a 10, and I'm actually probably going to guess it's not going to be that great of a movie, but the fact that Momoa has been cast interests me. Maybe it's just
for sure.
Yeah, maybe it's just because he's Aquaman, but hey.
Yeah, you definitely have a hard on for him, but who doesn't? He's a good-looking guy.
He really is.
Seems like he'd be fun to hang out with.
Yeah, he seems super nice, too.
Got a good heart.
Yeah.
From all the interviews I've listened to.
Yeah. All 3 that I've ever heard him speak on.
Yeah, because he doesn't do a lot of movies.
He doesn't. No, you want to do an interview? About what? That's a great point. All right, on to our next and last major story of the day. Were you a fan of the Chronicles of Narnia, either books or movies?
No.
I wasn't a huge fan. My mom was a pretty big fan.
Does that kill your story?
No, it doesn't really.
All right, good.
But I mean, I kind of can imagine where you're going with where you're going to say. But Sony and TriStar are working together to bring the franchise back to the silver screen. We haven't seen it in a number of years, but this go-round, it's going to be about the book, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Silver Chair, in which it takes place decades after the previous films have already ended, where Prince Caspian, who we met in the second film, played by Ben Barnes, is much older now, and his only heir to the throne has been kidnapped. Now, the story isn't quite as important as the fact that this is pretty much a whole reboot. They're not bringing back any of the old directors, any of the former cast, or anything like that. They're going for a whole new thing. What's your interest level in the film?
Nada.
Nothing? Really?
No. I was never interested in the story to begin with.
Like, would you rather see this or The Crow?
Probably The Crow, because I haven't seen the original.
Yeah, for me, I'm a little... This property has kind of bounced back and forth between a couple of studios, and
that's worrisome. Too.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I like the first one. The Chronicles of Narnia was a good movie. It had Liam Neeson as Aslan, the talking lion.
Yeah, he's got a good voice for a lion.
Yeah, Cate Blanchett was in that movie too. She played the Ice Queen. Was it Cate Blanchett or was it Tilda Swinton? Tilda Swinton. Sorry.
Was this the
Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
2005.
But
they don't look anything alike, though.
Well, yeah, they're bullshit.
They're blonde and pasty.
And they're both very thin. You cut one's hair.
One's rounder. One's a little more narrow. Cate Blanchett's got a rounder face.
They're both got pretty strong chins. Like, you would not want to, sit up too fast underneath one of them. I kind of like that one. I thought it was good. That deserved much more of a laugh. For me, I'm into it just because I think we need more of these kind of movies. Like, we need to return to the, action fantasy realm. We've been in that real...
Harry Potter?
Kind of, yeah. More like a less intense version of Lord of the Rings type stuff. Harry Potter's a good analogy, too. But, because... we're currently in that cycle of everything is going into space. How many movies have we had in the last 3 years about aliens? We just talked about one earlier today with intervals. Or interval. Yeah,
Arrival.
I'm never going to get that title right.
Intergirls.
It's just too, generic of a title.
Yeah. I kind of like the generic ability of it. Just making up words now.
Genericosity? Generosity of the genericness? Genericness. Is that a word?
Genericistic.
I like it.
Hey, if this movie thing doesn't work out, we can just make up words.
Yeah. Did you see that Mel Gibson and Sean Penn are making a movie about the creation of the Oxford Dictionary?
I did see that.
Yeah, and apparently, one of the major contributors was in a psych institute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind that they came up with this while working out and drinking like a really good bourbon and smoking.
Well, supposedly Gibson's had the rights to the film since like the mid-90s. But yeah, I'm sure they were definitely out there like, we can do this.
Just pumping iron, because both those dudes are jacked.
They really are.
And they're crazy. Mm-hmm. And we know they have a drinking problem.
Absolutely.
I could have been doing coke, but I'm not positive.
So what do you guys think of the Chronicles of Narnia? Chronic of Narnia. Let us know in the comment section below and hit us up in all of the social media sites. All right, so like we said, that was the main stories of the day. Next, we're going to move on to the crap we didn't have time for, which are just smaller stories, but they might have a big impact across the industry. But the fact that you kind of get the gist of what they are in the title, and it's one of those things where you can't really argue whether or not they're good or bad, either because it's too early to have an opinion, or it's pretty damn obvious what it is.
Yep.
All right, first off, we have Warner Brothers is reportedly fast-tracking a Man of Steel 2 for a 2018 or 2019 release.
Not a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
Fast-tracking?
Well, fast-tracking is like, they're just not sitting on it. Like, 2018 is 2 years from now. 2019 is 3 years.
Are they going to rush it like they did Suicide Squad?
I don't think so. I'm sure because it's been, what?
You have too much faith in them.
4 years since the last one?
Too much faith in DC.
Probably.
Fool me once, it's on me. Fool me twice, I'm not going to see another DC movie. Complete lie. I will definitely go see another movie.
The next story is Jimmy Smitts has released that he's going to be returning for Rogue One, a Star Wars story. For you, those of you who might not be aware, he plays Bail Organa, a.k.a. Leia's stepfather in the prequels, and he said that he will be returning. It's not known how large of a part. He says it's more of a cameo, but there are reports out there that he's got a little bit more than a cameo. Next, Ava DuVernay, the director of Selma and the upcoming film A Wrinkle in Time, is the first African-American woman to direct a major Hollywood picture that has a budget of over $100 million. And last but not least, they're working on a live-action Curious George movie. What are your thoughts?
It's expected.
Yeah. I'm hoping they do a crossover with the next Planet of the Apes film and Curious George.
Or just the Clifford.
Yeah. I would watch that movie.
Do it all
Curious
together.
George Clifford movie. Throw Paddington the Bear in there. Go for it. All right. So that was the crap we didn't have time for this week. Go ahead and search that stuff out on the internet by yourselves. Avoid searching other things that may get you in trouble if you're on a work computer. That was our show for today. James, did you like the show?
We've definitely had better.
Yeah, I think so too.
A lot of rambling.
Probably. I kind of liked it though.
Tough week in the industry.
A little bit. It was different. Plus, we didn't have our notes, so it was a lot of off-the-cuff stuff. Hopefully, we made you laugh. But I want to thank you all for tuning in today. If you like the show, please like this episode and subscribe to the I've Had Better podcast page and the I've Had Better podcast network. You can follow us on Twitter at IHB Podcast and on Facebook at the I've Had Better podcast page that I previously mentioned. James, tell the people where they can find you.
You can follow me on Twitter at @the_Kaiser_Soze or on Facebook. It's Jimmy Langos. And you can check out the website, www.ihbpodcast.com. And please subscribe to our iTunes feed, as we are now calling it. And you can find that by searching IHB Movies, I've Had Better Podcast, I've Had Better Network. Throwing a new one.
Yep, and I am Dominic Damore. You can follow me on Twitter at Dom Damore or on Facebook as Dominic Damore. Just give it to me one more time. How was the show today?
Good enough.
I like that. We are now we're good enough. We're the good enough podcast. It's actually not bad. Hashtag. Good night, everybody.
Just when you release this one on Twitter, just hashtag good enough.